Ulonka tabati yada to ye ko madaifa. Inu to ye ko je ulon fi bipa. Oba tala, oba takutakun. Songo Eshu, Ogun Oya Osun. Kini ṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o. Ó jẹ́ lọ dára.
Alafia, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the African Spirituality Experience. I am your host, Orisha Bami, and we have on today our distinguished community elder, Oloye Baba Ifa Karade. Alafia, Baba, how you doing today, Baba?
Lafia. Dadani, I'm well. You know, everything is just really at a magnificent state. And I'd like to welcome all of our listeners. Say Kaba. Welcome into the essence of Ashe.
Ashe, yes, sir. Man, so with that, Baba,
yes, sir.
Very, very powerful week, man. We have first and foremost, let me give a shout out to the Ashe tribe. Ifa Sagun, I see you, man. I definitely appreciate you. I see you had to get some of the trolls together in the chat in the comments for me earlier this week. So I appreciate that, brother. I was telling Baba Karade about that. I said, man, Ifa Sagun got to him before I could get to him, man. Had them trolls in the comments. So shout out to the Karade Nation, man, holding us down. And shout out to the whole tribe that's been showing love. Like, we got a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new members to the community, the regular tier and the VIP. So I want to send all of y'all a shout out, a salute and appreciation. And y'all have been doing some phenomenal work for us, and that's why we do what we do, to put in the work to share with you, and to hold it down. And so we got crossed several different barriers and milestones. Baba, I think we hit like 115,000 total views. We hit the 1,500 subscriber mark. So we definitely want to give thanks to all the new subscribers, to everybody who's been riding with us from day one. Much love, Mudupe. We appreciate all of y'all. So yeah, with that, bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I think we had a few things that we wanted to kind of tap dance around.
Yeah.
It's all setting the stage for the main course. All right.
Yeah.
When Tauwede comes, we're going to be ready. Preparation, destination.
Yes, sir.
Ashe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Now that's real. Oh yeah, we did have a couple of announcements to make too. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, let me just pull it up real quick. I saw a comment today. I don't know. It was someone who I had seen their name on a couple of live streams. The family, y'all bear with me. My voice is trying to run away on me. But I'm gonna push through and fight through, because that's what we do. But I had saw a comment earlier. It was someone that I had seen on the stream a few times, and they made a comment that I wasn't really quite sure what it meant. And I'm not gonna read it right now because it's not really. I didn't really understand what it said, but I would definitely like to address it. But what I gathered from what they were, I guess, trying to say or attempting to say was that I'm thinking they was thinking we was on something with like spells or I don't know if it was witchcraft, sorcery, whatever it was that they were saying about the situation. But whatever the case may be, that's definitely not what I got from the short that they commented on. It didn't resonate to me what was said. So with that, I'm gonna say this, for those who are here, we appreciate you, we love you. For those who stop by or just drive by and see the content, if you don't like it, just keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not holding nobody hostage, but I've seen people come just to what I feel like try to, get something started. But this ain't the environment to try to start stuff with people, because we don't do that. We come, we show love, we show light, and we uplift and empower each other. That's what we're here for. And so for the Bible thumpers and the Christian terrorists who come in here that, whatever you want to call it, they tizziesness, that they get into tizzies or what have you with us because of the content, they got to really pay attention to what we're really doing and saying here, because we don't bash nobody. We ain't here for that. We're here to uplift our culture. We're here to uplift Isese, Ifa, Orisha, and the reverence of our ancestors. So that's what we're on. So if that's not for you, keep it pushing. It saves a lot of time to me just to swipe instead of taking the time to pencil in the BS that you put in. Like, it don't bother us. Like, we're not shook by that. So keep it pushing. That's the easiest way to do it if you don't like what you see. Bye-bye.
Ashe.
Yeah, something you said you want to share?
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with that because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Uh, Various people and their religions, and various people and their interpretations of their religions. And what seems to be most strange is their lack of acceptance that there are others other than them, and that as beings of an infinite level of creativity, that they themselves are a part of. Okay. It is more than curious that the attacks and the belittling and the demonizing becomes their way, in spite of the peace and love, and God loves everybody kind of energy and attitude. Okay, so amongst we of Isese and Candomblé and Santeria and Nukumi, we come to understand that people are going to be people. Okay, they're going to misinterpret. They're going to misconstrue. They're going to take it from where they're coming from, as opposed to trying to understand where others are coming from. And that means that, as I've stated before, it's a demonstration of lack of faith. Okay, here we're trying to, as Baba Orisha stated, we're making every attempt to become brighter beings of light. We are into the Irumole, and that's just not a cliche or we're holier than thou. No, we're in truth introspecting. We're going into ourselves, and we're dismissing those notions and those struggles that I call them religious patty rollers. You know what I mean? And for those of you who don't know what patty rollers were, quote unquote, the slave catchers. As soon as they saw somebody trying to be free, here come the patty rollers, slave patrollers. And these religious patty rollers, they're going out to try to capture, recapture, terrorize, okay, and torture people into submission, okay, and into forgiveness, and into, oh, why can't we all get along? Well, we can't get along because of you. Why are you asking me? This is the Ashe podcast. You know what I'm saying? So, always coming with some mind manipulating game, forgetting that you're dealing with grown folks up in here, okay? And people who have survived life in all of the trauma that your way has imposed upon us. So what we are going to do, as Baba Orisha Bemi and I have come to the most serious of warrior agreements, is if we decide to share your comments, then by right, we can do that. So if you don't want to be put on the spot and come up with some rationale behind your irrationality, then let me echo, keep it moving. Okay. And on the same end, it's like everybody has their opinion. They do, even amongst us. Okay. And again, there may be things that are said that don't really rest well with individuals at the time. But maybe if they gave it a little bit more time and a little less argumentative energy and attitude, they might come to understand. Now, in closing to the response, I'm speaking as an elder, okay? Rather than people, trolling or patty rolling or whatever they're doing, asking questions to further, gain some understanding, instead of doing that, why don't you just respect the eldership? And then perhaps, well, I didn't really understand what the Oloye said. Baba made a statement and I wasn't too clear about, or I'm not of this faith and I heard something that made me feel a certain kind of way. Could you further elaborate? See, this is the level, of maturity that we're not only striving to model, but it's kind of what we're asking people to, kind of be mature and stop with the childishness and the foolishness. Okay. And at the end of the day, if you can't be anything else, be respectful, be respectful, regardless of your faith, be respectful. Ashe.
Yeah, respect goes a long ways, Baba. Real long ways. And I think that's where that disconnect comes from to begin with, especially with people who are in other faith systems. And like you said, even people who are in this faith system, it really boils down to respect. Because as a human being, I don't care what, and this has been said I don't know how many times on this platform, but I don't care what religion you are in, what God you pray to, none of that. Nothing about my child of godness makes me superior to anyone else's child of godness. And nothing about anyone else's child of godness makes me inferior to their child of godness. We're all the child of the grand, unified, prime creator. Nobody is above that. So therefore, it doesn't matter what religion or what culture you're in, because if we have that respect for each other, we should all be able to get along and make things happen. And furthermore, before we get into it, Baba, let me quote my heroes, one of the best to ever do it, the Honorable El Hajj El Malik Shabazz, also known as Malcolm X, Malcolm a little before the X, stated, religion's not working for us.
Yeah.
If we can't get the foot of the oppressor off of our neck, religion ain't working for us. So therefore, we need to put that in the closet and focus on nation building. Then we can come back and circle around once we got to the point where everybody on the planet has freedom, justice, and equality. So if you're not talking about that, miss me with that bullish. You know what I mean? That's what we are here at Ashe.
Ashe.
Yes, sir. So enough of the low vibrational frequency energy, Baba.
Well, no,
sometimes the house cleaning.
Oh yeah, but we have to step up. Now I'm going to make two statements regarding. All right. Say, I come up with this proverb. For all the good people out there, this is for you. All right, because I'm looking for your interpretation of it. All right. Women are the gardens, men the fence around them. What's your take? I'll repeat it. Women are the gardens, men the fence around them. Okay.
That's deep, Baba. That's deep.
But the question now is, upon hearing that 2 times, what would any person's response be? And I'm looking to hear from our good people.
Okay. Let's see if we got any in here. Still seeing. I'm still waiting to see. I'll tell you what I get from it, Baba, while I try to type it up. I feel like what I take from that is that the women are the life bearers, the nurturers, the cultivators of all civilization, the architects of civilization. Therefore, everything that comes out of the womb man, needs to be something that holds that same energy, ashe, and excellence of the creator aspect of the womb man, and protect it and honor it and reverence it by all means necessary, male or female. Because to quote the Queen and the Earth Goddess of the Universe spoken word piece that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Without you, there would be no us.
Mm-hmm.
Without the woman, none of us are here right now.
Right.
So I feel like, and then the men, we're supposed to be there to be the guardians, to be the gatekeepers, to be those barriers, those force fields of protection, to make sure that we can not only protect the woman, but I dare to say protect the all of creation and humanity. Because without the woman, we don't have anything.
That's right. Now, I've made this statement to a number of people to demonstrate how many people have a different view of it.
Mm.
There's been some women who took offense to it. What, why? Why is it that the men got to defend the women can defend, you understand what I'm saying? And some men is like, well, if they all independent, why do I have to trouble myself? I've tried to be there for the sisters, for the queens, and all I got was a broken heart. So again, there's no wrong answer. It's just interesting how one statement, proverbial or not, can be interpreted and to others misinterpreted, okay, to the point of, oh, we're going to fight. You understand? Instead of trying to say, well, look, sis, I understand that you may not feel as though there's a man, you may not have had a strong male figure in your life. You understand what I'm saying? Or the one that you did have was abusive to your mother, and then the one that you had was abusive to you. That kind of generational curse went on until you came to realize bad choices. Okay. Because there are abusive men out there, but there are many more men who are very nurturing. But because of the choices you make, you'll take women or the gardens, men to fence around them as something that you can't really get with, because that's what your experience, okay, is sharing with you right now. Your experience is saying, nah, it might sound all nice, but in the real world that I'm in, I can't trust no men folk. And then on the other side, the brother's like, every time she get a little money, here we go. You know what I mean? So there is no right or wrong response. It's just interesting how we interpret. And if we have so many interpretations, like say you did a short based on that proverb, like the short that brought about the response of the individual, all right? Uh, it would be, well, first of all, you're out of context. Okay. Did you take time to watch the whole video, or did you take time to listen to the whole statement prior to that segment? Okay. Or you just locking in on your feelings right now. See, but we have a tendency to do that, and that casts so many, you know, uh, disruptive disruptive beings into our lives, because they become real, they become living, they become breathing, these thoughts of mine and these energies and attitudes that we have, you know and such is the basis of many of the spirits born into our world. They come through us and we possess them. Okay. The negative spirits aren't always the one possessing us. We possess them as well. So I just needed to say that, because upon our discussion about Orisha Bami, but my universe opens up to how to best perceive this, and how to best heal it.
Sure.
You know, So, men to protect the women. When I'm getting the divine energy is to be regulated. My 2 cents. I mean, all right. If I should go, but everybody 2 cents could move a nation. We could buy land if everybody was putting in the 2 cents. Okay, so everybody's input is of the maximum importance. Okay, I'd like to add is that we begin to understand each other more so, and understand that people are coming from different places, and language is not the power. It's where the person is experiencing from, because now it goes to connotation. How are they interpreting it? You see, so it's not just the word is the power. The power now is in the interpretation of the word. Okay. And that even comes down to the Odu. That's why there are times when you'll have several Babalao interpreting a given Odu.
Yeah.
Okay. Because different perspectives need to be meld together. You know, the council now needs to speak about this Odu.
Mm.
Okay. Ashe.
Ashe. Yeah, I agree, Baba. And especially with the perspectives things, like, because somebody could see something one way and then you can see that something a total another way. But what happens is you can gain a whole nother perspective from that. Like, that's happened many times, even recently for me. Like, a situation happens, I feel some type of way about it, but then I address it with someone else, and then they can see it from a different angle, from a different perspective that I can't see it from.
Right.
And then they're able to shift my perspective into another, you know what I mean? Another way of looking at things to figure out, oh, okay, yeah, okay, so I get it now. I see it. I see what you see now. I didn't see that before from my angle.
Right.
But from an outside perspective, it could definitely help to kind of mold and shape the actual perspective.
And you know what's beautiful about that, brother?
Mm.
You know, is that both of you were listening.
Sure.
You know, and some of these folks, coming on, and some of these folks who got it this way and that way, would be like, I don't even hear you. I don't even want to hear. I don't even want to hear that. And what do you mean you don't want to hear it? Are you then saying that what I have to say or how I'm feeling is of no importance to you? You just don't want to hear it. You don't even want to think about my point of view. You don't want to think about Ifa and Isese as a part of a philosophical and spiritual and religious construct. You don't even want to talk about it. You just want to demonize it and say, "Oh well, it's not the Lord's work," or "God don't like that." What do you mean? And then the next statement you say, "Well, God created everything and everybody and loves everything and everybody, except what? If they don't toe your line." Okay. Well, God is jealous and all that kind of thing. No, well, it seems like you're the one that's jealous. And we can go on and on and on with this because it's functionally dysfunctional. Okay. How many faith factors, how many spiritual systems, how many religious prophets, where everybody waiting for somebody to come back, to be the savior. Christianity doesn't hold any monopoly on any of that. It's not the only one waiting for the savior and have the resurrection. We can go back to ancient Kemet. We can go back to ancient Hinduism. We can go back to like 7 or 8 who are like, well, it's coming back. So what makes you so special that you don't want to hear anybody else? And you don't want to hear anything African? Okay. And this leads me to this. There are people, and please bear with me now. Okay. Our people who will staunchly state that they're not into skin bleaching. Okay. Oh, why the sisters bleaching their skin? and some of the brothers, you know, oh, why they're not comfortable in their original state, their melanated person. You know, why are they bleaching their skin? The first time I ever came across it was back in 1977. I was in Kenya. I had never seen anything like it in my life. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. You know, the sisters over there in Kenya, you know, someone with their skin bleach. I'm like, what's going on? You know, why is this? You know, but now at this stage, after seeing so much, it's like, well, whatever it is, it is. Okay. All right. I could look up one day and somebody in my family did it. So you know, what am I going to do? Okay. But it's just interesting to me. My point is that there are so many of us who are against skin bleaching, but will bleach our religion, but will bleach African spirituality, but will bleach our prophets, but will bleach our Orisha, but will bleach our ancestors, but will bleach our minds. And I'm saying, well, if you're against bleaching, then stop bleaching. Okay? Because if all you're looking at is the physical, then you're missing the psychological, the emotional, okay, and perhaps the spiritual. So your interpretation basically is irrelevant because people are going to do what they're going to do. But at the same time, you shaking a finger at somebody who's bleaching their skin, you're going to look at African traditional religions and step back from it, turn away from it at worst or best. And then on the other hand, if you don't really want to do that, you're going to go ahead and start bleaching everybody, you know, and then say that it doesn't matter what color it is, the Orisha, this God. Yeah, it doesn't matter after you made it matter to you.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So while we fussing over people bleaching their skin, we might take it as a point of interest to question why people, let's just say, are still very comfortable with bleaching the spiritual entities that serve as our angelic, that serve as our God force, that serve, again, even as our ancestors.
Yeah.
And if we don't watch out, our celebrities. Because for the time I look up a couple of shows, I had to stop watching because it looked like every month the skin gets lighter and lighter and lighter. The hair gets more euro, more euro, more euro.
The nose gets more skinnier and skinnier and skinnier.
You just like you're watching them transform right in front of your eyes.
It's sad. It's sad.
Okay.
It's
And
sad.
and see, we of Ifa and Isese, you know, we can sit around and, oh, well, what's your do? What's they'll do for the week? What's they'll do, you know, for this celebration? What do we have to, you know, feed or Orisha? And we can go on and on and on. And meanwhile, what is matter, okay, becomes unattended.
Mm.
It becomes unattended. This point of view that I'm presenting is that it cannot be unattended. We have to struggle, and just like we say, women are the garden, and men the fence around them. Orisha are the gardens, and we are the fence around them. Okay, our Oris are the garden, and we are the fence around our consciousness, what we perceive, how we're molded, what we come to believe, and who benefits from it. Okay. Our belief system, as we've stated in prior podcasts, what do you actually believe in, Ifa Isese people? I mean, really, what do you actually believe in? I don't want to hear what your Odu is. Really, really, that's personal. That's between you and Ifa and the Orisha. So why is it so important that you got to tell somebody you're Odu? And even worse, why is it so important that somebody got to come up to you and ask you what your Odu is? Of what relevance is that? Okay. I'd rather say, well, what do you think about what's going on in your community? What are we doing as Ifa Isese people to uplift our communities? Okay. I'd rather ask, how's your day? Okay. How's your day? What's going on, bro? Bawoni, what's happening? Everything good? All right. I'd rather ask your Orisha, okay, is there peace? Is there peace within? Okay. You see, we're just doing things. And what is unattended is our mindset. And hence, we are misinterpreting so many wonderful and beautiful things about Ifa and Isese, because it's basically become unrecognizable. Unrecognizable. Alafia Oyeshina, it's good to see you, Dr. Green. Okay. So as we concern ourselves with processes of growth and development, it becomes imperative to always take note of what's happening mind set, what's happening maturity set, what's happening transformational and regenerational set. And at the time of resurrection, okay, for each and every individual, at each and every individual's unique moment, are we now prepared to walk in this dimension, in this realm, in a way that shows that we've learned something from the death of us, and that we are literally reborn into Olodumare's greatest of understandings. See? So as a part of kind of dealing with people's interpretations and how people misinterpret and take things out of context, I look at this picture, Obatala in the back. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are people who would say that's spooky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had individuals come right through here and say that they don't even want to come back through to help do anything. Well, because you got that picture up there. You know, got that cloth. Must be that, he's the voodoo man. You understand? But then I show it to Baba Risha Bami, and he's like, wow, is that a Rumula or is that Obatala? That's a dope picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same artistic piece.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody walk in and you got a candle burning.
Yeah.
Or you got the beads. You can go any place else. People wearing their cross, they carrying their Qurans. You walk in there with your elekes on, and all of a sudden,
Yep.
see. But my statement is, instead of going, deeper into the basement, it's like beings of light need to be in the light
Sure.
and not in the shadows.
Yeah.
Right?
And Baba, I feel like those people, because I've heard that before too, but for me, it's funny because I feel like for those people who have that type of response to it, that's because whatever they got going on within them can't deal with that type of energy, that type of light, because it's doing something, or it's agitating or irritating something that's within that it doesn't sit well with.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you do me a favor right quick?
Yes, sir. I can.
Could you stand up and show people your shirt?
Oh yeah. I can do that for you, Bob. I can do that. Stand on up.
We got some deepness happening here, family.
We got to stand up. A little bit. Look. And it's the perfect weather for it too, man, because we got we got a cold front down here at the bottom of the map, man. So it's perfect timing for you to pull it on out, man, and go ahead and make it do what it do.
Well, not just the weather out there, but the weather up in here too.
Hey, pull it out. Pull that ass out, man. Pull it out.
You know what I'm saying?
Pull it out. Yes, sir.
People trying to get chilly. You know what I mean? We got something for it. Now, yes, I got mine too, people, so don't mine hanging right up in the closet.
Yes, sir. Look, like my boy T, I say, bring them out.
Yeah,
bring them out. Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna hook mine up, and we're gonna have it for the upcoming.
Yes, sir.
But please, family, let's support one another. Let's keep the money circulating, and watch us grow. And be okay with that. That's right. Collectively, like we built our empires, like we built our great walls. Okay, like we built our continuation as a people, looking out for one another. Escaping together. Rebuilding together.
Sure.
In spite of the inhumanity against us. See, so it's powerful. It's very powerful, and I for one say Ekuche and Modupwe for the energy and effort that you bring in, my brother. Okay, yes, my brother Isese. All right,
yes, sir.
Make it happen.
What I say, like father, like son. We got to fight through, man. Had a couple of shows where I didn't think we was gonna have it, man. But I'm like, no, let's go. We going. Go ahead and go. We going. I'm like, hey, say no more. Let's get it.
Get it. All right.
I'm the same way, man. Look, you got to show up to work. You got to show up to work. So I'm gonna get it. We're gonna get it.
Yes, sir. All right. So at this point, do we have any questions or statements before going into Tawede?
Let me check real quick. I see. I agree with you, DJ Quico. I hope I'm saying that right. Let me see. Mr. Brown says, let me share his. He says the Ori are fictional characters in the science fiction television series Stargate SG-1. Within the storyline, there is a fictional being described as ascendant because of the use of, I would assume, the Ori.
All right.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you, Mr. Brown. But I'm not sure how long you've been watching the channel, but they show the truth in plain sight all the time. One of the movies that I like to personally quote is like the X-Men Apocalypse movie. They share a lot of comedic culture. Hell, just the X-Men series alone. Storm would be the equivalent to Oya. When you think about the Marvel characters like Thor would be the equivalent of Shango. So it's like we see the truth in plain sight in a lot of different movies, a lot of different shows, but it depends on how, I guess our Ori or our third eye is attuned to being able to pick up on what it is exactly that we see. Hell, if you think about it, this just hit me just now. I would dare to say, if you think about the Hulk, to me, I'm thinking right now that might be symbolism of Ogun. I mean, you think about how powerful he is, how strong and fierce and ferocious he is, and then he's what color? Green. the Incredible Hulk. You know, I mean, there's just so many different things and so many different dynamics of how that our culture is being regurgitated back to us in a different format, different fashion. Even religion, for that matter, a lot of religions too.
Yeah. Just to work with you, on that. Now, when I was coming up, the Hulk was gray.
Mm.
Right? When they first came out with the Hulk, he was gray.
Mm-hmm.
Now, green. And I want to take it a different step, on the same step, but just a different mile. The Bruce Banner is very humane. He's a scientist. You know what I mean? But when that anger triggers him, and this is where the goon part comes in, transform into something that's basically uncontrollable.
Yep.
It's only been lately that the Hulk character is more, civil than, and even when he is uncontrollable, he's not monstrous. He's not a killer. You see? So I can readily make the connection that you made. Now, what becomes important to us as well is, what impact is that making on our community? What impact is that making on our belief systems? What impact is that making on our priestly, who then, as you're so wisely doing, share that with the egg bays, share that in the elays, so that when people do watch it again or think about it, that they have a greater appreciation for what we call recon, okay, retroactive continuity, because stories continue to change, sometimes every generation. And again, like I told you, when I was coming up, the Hulk was gray, and then eventually he turned green. So that's called retroactive continuity, you know. So the whole storyline changes. So now, once we learn how storylines change over time, and whoever the new writer is or the new producer is, like, you can take the same song and play it 500 different ways, okay? The jazz artist might play it differently than the R&B artist, who originally penned the song and produced and recorded it. The point is, the same thing happens in religiosity, spirituality, and philosophy. The same thing happens. We take retroactive continuity as a part of our creative expression, as a part of bringing the imagination into a more or less concrete world. Baba Risha, baby, could you take the piece off at the bottom, please? Thank you. So when we have the retroactive continuity, and we start to understand that imagination is a primary ingredient of transcendence, then we start to even look at religions a little differently. Because when we have that knowledge, then we can say, well, if in your imagination you create a reality, or you create a story that not only you accept as faithfully factual, but you have other people believing that it's faithfully factual. But what you've really done is tapped into something that has brought you forth from a conditioned state of mind imposed upon you by a society, a ruling class, an environment. But there's something within the human construct, and not just the human construct, whales, elephants, okay? To say that there is something more to this existence than what we've been caged to accept and then submit to and then believe. Okay. Why is it that that elephant won't pull the stake up and just run rampant? Why is it those tigers won't just tear that tiger tamer, to shreds? Okay. Because how you're raised and how you're forced to submit to a prison of existence. But as we start to exercise our imagination, then the imagination shapes the reality. And in that reality, we are reborn, we are rebirthed, we are rejuvenated, regenerated, and resurrected. And we start to see through life and not blind by the lack of insight. You understand? So the whole way of, say, Marvel, and the whole way of whatever's being, produced by the media. Because I was an avid Marvel reader, I learned most of my vocabulary. I learned about Norse mythology. I learned about a lot of things by reading. And one thing that dawned on me at a certain point in my high school years is that somebody's doing their homework. Okay. Somebody is learning about science. Somebody is learning about again Greek mythology, because now they got Hercules in a Thor thing. Somebody is learning. Somebody is sitting down, taking the time to study, and then via their imagination put this into a fictional mass media production. And it's so deep that you will not only have comic cons where millions of people gather, but folks who can actually see the reality of it. There will come a time when people will be in iron suits that have weapons. It goes back to the time of the medieval in Africa and in Europe. You see? So where does that place us as Ifa and Isese people? Still waiting for the next Odu? Okay. No, we're coming up with our imagination, which is still factual. Somebody say, oh, well, you're just imagining that, as if that lacks any importance. Because the very religion that you're following and most of the scripture within it, whether you say is written by God or not, and we can look at our Odu Ifa and say, well, this Rumila wrote this. Well, no, Rumila didn't write it. Okay, there are others who came after him, but the whole thing is, most of what's going on in there is from the imagining, imagination, image that enhances the nation, the image of the nation. So if we look at what the media has produced, and of course they're going to bleach it because they're bleached. Ain't nobody going to write around, sit around and make everybody else the hero except them. But we're sitting around and doing it. We got bleached folks, all over, mentally speaking. But am I thinking, well, if that's where you are, then that's where you are. But that doesn't mean that I have to be there. So I'll create from my own imagination, my own novels, my own way of looking at Isese. And who's to say that I can't, and who's to say that you can't? Okay. Could you put up your book again and tell us a little bit about it, please?
Listen, look, I didn't mean to put it on there because it's not finished.
You might not have meant to put it on there.
Nah, it's not finished. Like, so but I can share it though. It's a commercial because we're working on getting the site finished. But the editor sent it to me today, but we got a couple more edits. But I shared that was a mistake. I apologize for that, Bob. I definitely wasn't trying to.
Oh no, I'm not taking it as a mistake. I'm taking it as divine intervention.
Yeah. Hey, listen, because I was pulling up. I didn't ask you before we got on air, but I pulled up some files for Tawede. I didn't know if you wanted me to share them or you just want to go.
I do.
Perfect. So I was pulling up all my files, and I wanted to pull that one up, but I didn't want it to start playing. So my apologies. But let me see if I can get it.
No need to apology, man. This is divine intervention. This is the way it's supposed to happen.
I got you.
I told you you were gonna get a lot of shout outs today.
Look, I'm gonna take them too. I'm gonna take them.
All right, brother. All right.
Let me find it again. But now I'm not gonna play the music. That music is still under construction, but I'll play the video.
Okay, all right.
The commercial for Starseed. So we working on putting together some real nice stuff for the young Starseeds, man. We're putting it together for them. So we're working on putting together not just the book. The book is already done. I got the ebook file already ready to go. I'm in the process of setting up to order some more paperbacks, and those will be here shortly. But yeah, we're about to do some big things with Starseeds and Young Kings. We got both of them.
Beautiful.
Ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna definitely be putting in, putting these in with the website and be sharing it on the channel within the community and all the above.
All right. Ekuche. For real.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
this
yeah, but you know what? I'm glad you said that though, because with that being said, I actually read Starseeds yesterday before I sent over the information for the my editor to do the videos for me. And y'all bear with me. I'm gonna fight through this throat thing. It's hard to get the words out properly because it's acting up. But anyway, the irony of it is that I was just reading it again yesterday, and then I sent him the footage this morning. He started working on it, so we're almost done with the promo videos. But tomorrow, y'all, for the night owls and the Ashe Tribe that be up after dark, we're having a nightcap again tomorrow with Professor Kaba will be coming in tomorrow night at 10:30. We're going live back to back this week. And he was who inspired the Starseeds book. It was from his teachings about the the Dogon tribe, who, were in the Nile Valley, they were in Kemet, and then they migrated up into Mali, the mountains of Mali. And the story behind it is the Dogon tribe had a certain percentage of their tribe were priests and were seers. And so what would happen is when they migrated to the mountains of Mali, a lot of them became what they call night eyes, right? So a night eye is a person who's kind of like nocturnal. They sleep in the day and they're awake at night. And what will happen over time is that the ability for their eyes and their pupils would magnify, literally like telescopes, to the point where they were able to see at a much further distance and radius than the typical human being could see. So they were able to then start to see different stars and different star systems from the naked eye, because they had trained their bodies, or trained their eyes from having trained their bodies from sleeping during the day and being awake at night, that they never really dealt with daylight. So the night became like their natural light. So they were able to kind of like manipulate their eyesight to see at a much greater further distance. In the process of that, they were also contacted by an extraterrestrial being by the name of Nomo. Nomo was an amphibious being who came from the star system of Sirius. Sirius, you got 3 stars. It's a trinary star system, Sirius A, B, and C. So Nomo came from the star system of Sirius as an amphibious being. He gave the Dogon tribe a lot of intelligence, a lot of information, a lot of knowledge on the creation of the world, and several different star systems and different planetary life in different star systems. So what they did to make this extraterrestrial visitation solidified and to validate it, they would have a ceremony. I think every 50 or every 75 years, they would have a ceremony, and that ceremony would be displayed by what we call a Kanaga mask. So they commemorated every single one of those every single one of the anniversaries for the visitation, where I think it's either 50 or 75 year celebration. But long story short, his teaching of that in a YouTube video about 10, 15 years ago it inspired me so much that one night, I'll never forget, I had like a divine download where the whole story came to me. And I just wrote it all on a pencil and paper. And then at the time, I had no idea how to write a book, do any of that. But as time, went on, I was able to then bring the actual story to life. So it's powerful, and I can't wait to share it with the, with the tribe, and for those who have young children. I definitely look forward to sharing it with them, as well as maybe doing some online virtual courses with them too, with the young people.
Yes,
sir.
It's powerful, brother. It's powerful. It's powerful. It's powerful. And for us, again, what is it? What is it that we're attending to? And what does Ifa and Isese all about once we break free of the prison of, well, this is African religion, this is what people in Africa do, and this is how we need to deal with it and each other based on this and that. And I'm like, all right, well, there may have been a handful of people over here and a handful of people over there who was doing it like this. Okay, just like there's a handful of people over here and a handful of people over there, who are doing every civilization differently. But what are the majority of people doing? How are they living their lives? How are they teaching their children? What are they teaching their children? What is the benefit of having an existence and not just following somebody's script on, well, this, if you were Babalao, then you got to do this, or if you get into African religion, then you got to go get readings every time something don't go right in your life. It's like, when you gonna learn how to live? Okay, when you're gonna learn how to be somewhat more the adult independent, but yet embracing of your own spiritual capacity, and then let your capabilities develop over time. Okay, and that's not to dismiss the need for egbays and elays and elders. Okay, but it is to say, if you're so over dependent on them, then I dare say that you're bringing in that Abrahamic kind of thing, where you're not supposed to have knowledge. Matter of fact, it's a sin. That's going to always be somewhere in the subconscious, because that's what you were raised to believe. Okay, there is no sin in Ifa and Isese. There is no apocalypse in Ifa and Isese. There's room to breathe. Now, do we have our history? Do we have our wars? Yes. Did we have our valiant heroes? And did we have our vile villains? Of course we did. It's like, come on, step out of the fairy tale and into the knowledge. And that's why, something like Starseeds is very, very important about Orisha Bami, because when the youth start to even ponder the possibility, like when you saw the video, your imagination guided your hand. And that's my point, my people. We have been put into the mentality of the bestial subhumans, to the point where our divine imagination has been demolished. Demolished. And we find ourselves reacting to life from the pain and the turmoil, instead of building on life from the enlightenment and from the openness of our minds to dare to reach with the naked eye into the very heavens themselves. You see? I salute you, brother. I salute you. Because I know what happened to you.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a
yeah. Wait, I'm gonna share the story. Like, I ain't gonna share the whole book on Sure, but I'm gonna share like some of the concepts because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna throw it out there. So the starseeds are children who are descendants of ascended masters, right? And they know it. They find out, they sensed it and they knew it. But the beautiful thing about it is they had to reach certain levels and phases within their life in order to kind of like unlock different levels of higher frequency and higher vibrational, you know what I mean? Elevation. So once they reach a certain level, they get the opportunity to chop it up with their ancestors. And the ancestors then come and see them, and they come and, you know what I mean? Like they come and the ancestors do what the ancestors do. You know, they show them like the Queen Mother said in Black Panther. They teach the starseed, hey, show them who you are. And mind you, this was before Black Panther. This book was out before Black Panther came out. You know what I mean? The ancestors was coming to me long days ago, telling me, you know, giving this blessing to me in regards to this story. But it's beautiful because the ultimate storyline is that the starseeds are able to use their mind and their imagination as their superpower to help to bring back the balance and love of peace and happiness to the planet. So it's a powerful story.
Jinle ni imo, profound. Jinle ni imo, profound. Jinle ni imo, profound. Okay, and this is what we need to have amongst us. You know, we aren't just creating stories. Okay, we are making imagination into matter.
Yes, sir.
And
activation.
Yes, and that's nothing new. I mean that's part of the human, again, capacity. But when that capacity is forcefully ripped from a human being by tragedy, turmoil, the heavy hands of history, you know, pounding on a civilization or a kingdom, you know, via war or famine or disease. But when that ability to tap into the capacity, when that bridge of, let's just call it imagination, is torn asunder and burned and ashes blown to the wind, then people, they have a tendency to try to redirect their creativity basically to survival.
Oh, sure.
Because it's necessary. You're going to survive it. When they took the drums away, it wasn't, oh, well, they took the drums away so the people couldn't have a good time. They took communication away. They took the process of revering the tree that is used for the, you know, they took the reverence away. And as I, you know, continue to state, they took the drummers away. They just didn't take drumming. They took the drummers who were raised to be a certain way, who were geared to have certain capacities and capabilities to exercise those capacities, and in doing so, move the people and open up the very essence of Orun, so that the Orisha and the ancestors can be activated. You see? But imagine not being hindered by enslavement, not being chained by enslavement, not being whipped down by all of the isms. I think Brother Nkosi was stating, you know, the color isms, the sex isms, and all of that, and to the point where people are walking around, okay, like the dead living. But Ifani Sheshe, like has been stated, you know, it's not just a saving grace in the way that somebody might think about it from the Abrahamic point. You know, like God's going to save you, you know, and you know, you'll be saved when you go. No, it's an interpretation of the word "be" and "ba." You know, I interpret it as you will be assisted in the deliverance of the you within you.
Yes, sir.
and that's what led me to write A Place of Nights, War and Resurrection. Because that's a story about someone who was transcending from within and how that impacts the whole kingdom. You see? So we need our writers. We need our writers, you know? And yes, it's good to see other writers kind of write about us, but that's not transforming us.
Wait. My bad, Baba. Listen. Look. Since you making me throw out some project, there's a little project you got going on. I would love to share a little.
Well, go on and do it. Go on and do it.
You talking about A Place of Nights, you know? I got a little audio I wouldn't mind sharing with the folks about A Place of Nights.
Bruh, quit talking about it and go on and do it. Okay. All right. This is Tawede time.
Let's see if I can get it to play.
A place of nights. War and resurrection.
They don't want to play now when I wanted to play, but then when I didn't want the other one to play, it was playing. Ain't that something? It's all good. I'll play it. I'll play on the next one, Baba. I'll play it and see if it can work. But that's funny that it won't play, but the other one played that I didn't play. But it's all good. We got something special.
Well, it was playing.
Y'all heard it?
Yeah. Listen,
oh, my bad. I guess it's muted on my end. I couldn't hear it. I'm sorry. Let me put it back up.
Well, I mean, if I could hear it, that means that the good people out there can hear it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody can hear it. Yeah, hold on one second.
A place of nights, it be a land. War and resurrection. Ogun ati ajinde. How can I fight from within? This fight is me versus me. The world be debating on me. Wondering if the man me I be. Locked in the house. I'm searching for my way out. I don't want my body be laid down. Only got my way down. I believe it till the end now.
I can't do it, Baba. I can't do it. Look, and that's an exclusive too. On the episode, I'm cutting it out. I gotta edit it out, man.
Oh man.
Yes, sir. The family love it too, man. They love it. They say that's 100. Sounds good.
Yes, 100, man.
Yeah, we got some big things popping, family. Big things popping. Real quick, Baba. Before we get into the Tawede, I got one question from one of the listeners I wanted to hit, before we get into it. But the tribe is loving it. They say it sounds good. They say you're killing it. Yes, sir.
Well, yo, that's the theme song. I'm gonna let it out now. That's the theme song for the audiobook series that's being created. Okay. From the novel A Place of Nights, War and Resurrection.
Yes, sir, Queen. 100 and nothing. Yes, sir.
So we got music underneath the actual reading of the novel. Audio book with a soundtrack. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And we're doing a series of 5 episodes with that, as a part of the continued development of the project from beginning to end. The objective is to have it ready for this, our universe, our world, our place by the first day of Tawede.
Sure.
December 16th.
100 and nothing, baby. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it do what it do, baby. We're gonna make it do.
Yeah. It's doing it right now.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
So what were you gonna talk about? What were you gonna say before I got into that?
Well, shout out to DJ Quico because he had a question earlier, but he had DJ, my boy said, look, I'm gonna play that on the radio. Let's go. I know that's right. We're gonna get it to you. We're gonna get it to you for sure. Yeah. Once we get everything set up and we got it all official, ready to go, man. We definitely But look, y'all heard it here first, and so we got a lot more in store that y'all gonna hear here first too.
All right, DJ Quico, much appreciated, man. We're gonna make it happen.
Yes,
all
sir.
right.
So his question, Baba, he
No.
said this was DJ's DJ Quico's question. He says, if we have our warriors, Olokun and Ibejis, is there a specific above for the inner child that needs to be done to kind of, I guess, nullify past life or past traumas?
Yes. Okay. Without getting too deeply into it, the abo is sound.
Mm.
The abo is the sound of chimes and wind chimes, and all sounds such as that, triangles, small symbols. Okay, so all of that is a part of having, the resonation, the vibration of that frequency to help ease the trauma and prevent the trauma from becoming a generational. Okay, so for the sake of now, DJ, that would be my response, and that's something that you can just go and do. Okay, just go and do it. All right, Ashe. Moving on.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we appreciate you, family. Definitely get it to you once we get the project completed, ready to go. But yeah, the family's loving the Place of Nights, Baba. They're loving the soundtrack, man. They're loving it. They love it.
Wait till they hear what's going through the whole 5 episodes. Yeah.
There's somebody talking that big talk, boy. Digging deep in the bag today, man. Deep in the bag. Yes,
now,
sir.
I might suggest that you get the novel, and it's in PDF form.
Yeah.
Start, perusing through it, so that when you start getting with the episodes, it's like, you already have like a backdrop. You can already, kind of start relating to the characters and the coding that's in it. We talked about this a few weeks ago with a brother Nkosi and a sister Donna. Okay, how within our writings, those of us of the priestly order, the sacerdotal order, and we're presenting information for our intellectual and conceptual egbe, as all we are the bringing together of the Ashe tribe and the Karade nation, from a very consciousness. Okay, so what we're presenting is that within our writings, just as within our podcast, it's not entertainment. You know what I mean? It's not the pastime. It's the okay. Let me play this again. Let me try to understand, what's going on. Even when you hear A Place of Nights by 100, that was worked out. We weren't just playing at it, and within it, you'll hear the chapters. Okay, you'll hear A Place of Nights in English, and then you'll hear it in Yoruba. The objective is to open up that ancestral portal, so that when you are listening to the novel, when you are reading the novel, when you're discussing with the author and the egbe of the novel, then it's not just, oh, I read it or I listened to it. It's like, no, I was moved by it. I was transformed by it. And just like when I sit down with my kids or with myself and I read Starseeds, it's not like, oh, I read it, or this is a nice, children's book for Black. No, we're the priestly, okay? And we're not trying to be better, but by our position and our initiations, we're trying to better ourselves. to be those who enhance us and bring us to the fruition as much as we can from ourselves onto our people, the unshackling, the imprisonment.
Mm.
You know, I don't think we really even know how to be human beings.
I don't.
You know,
Don't want to either.
well, no, but I'm saying is like because we have so much that we can do. Just look again, look at people in the martial arts. Look at people who play sports. Look at people who practice yoga all their lives and can, you know, levitate to certain degrees or have special, you know, the capacity for the human being is it's so immense in a
Limitless.
positive sense.
Yeah.
But when the possibilities are taken away via enslavement or any type of enslavement, via the educational system, via you know the religious system that doesn't even want you to think, much less create and be so moved.
Mm.
You know, remember they were killing scientists,
Oh yeah.
these Christian
Well,
fanatics.
they still killing herbalists.
Uh, uh,
Herbalists,
uh,
holistic healers, Dr. Sebi's. And we're gonna be going deep into
yes,
Dr. Sebi's
yes,
work
yes,
tomorrow because Professor
yes.
Kaba was a good friend of Dr. Sebi's back
Oh,
from the 80s and 90s. We talked about this last night. Me and him was talking about
yeah,
almost an hour about how impactful Dr. Sebi was, not
yeah.
just on his path, but the world. You know what I mean? So
His son is right here in Newark, right up the street,
wow. Mm.
doing the same thing his father was doing
I say.
on a smaller scale, you know. But he's
Everything
he's
works.
right here in you know in the vicinity.
I
On a
say.
good day, I can walk to his shop.
That's what's up.
Yeah, a
How
couple
about
times. Yeah.
I want to share something too. And
All right.
in regards to what you just said about being of the priestly and not being better than
Mhm.
anybody. But one of the things that I take pride in with Ashe, and really everything that I do, but and particularly Ashe because this is a passion project for me, and it's also a project that was a challenge from Oloye Baba Ifa Karade, for me. So I take it serious, but I'm going to be sharing. I said it on one of the other podcasts, but I'll be sharing how to write a book courses, how to write a book training sessions, content creation sessions, marketing sessions, how to do a YouTube channel session, how to create like everything that I do. I'm going to be sharing with the tribe and other clients that I already work with on that level as far as marketing consulting. But I want the people who are here with us to be like that are serious about doing the work. I want to see the fruits of our labors to manifest throughout our tribe because, like you said, Baba, it ain't about us being better than nobody because I know I don't feel like I'm better than nobody else and I don't feel like nobody's better than me. However, I do have an expectation of what I want to do in regards to creating a legacy. And one of my favorite quotes, I'll never forget this quote that I heard from Customato, and I shared this before too, when he spoke about Mike Tyson. He said, "My job is not to train a fellow to be champion of the world. My job is to train a fellow to be champion of the world and independent of me." So for our tribe and for the Karade Nation, my goal is to help, hopefully train as many of us as I can to do what we're doing and do it better. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. The ancestors gave us the baton.
Yes.
We took the baton, we run it. But we can't run forever, so we got to dish it back to somebody else. So the next generation, the Starseeds, the place of nights, the Kumos, like we got to give it to somebody else. Somebody else got to come and grab it and keep going.
Yeah.
So that's what this is all about. It's about the cycle of life. And to comment about that comment earlier that I was talking about breaking the cycle, whatever that foolishness was.
The circle. Yeah.
Circle. That's the circle we talking about.
That's the circle.
Talking about the circle that's as bright as the rays of the sun circle. That's the circle. So that just to be clear about that. The light beings.
All right. Since you have a little trouble, interpreting that, let's make it absolutely clear.
Yeah, loud for the people in the back.
And back in the day when I did have the Temple and Mystic Path, and people who've known me for that long, because we're going back to 91 now. It's like from day one, it's like, you know what? You must build your own throne. You will learn here, but you aren't welcome to stay here and get all locked in and like I'm going to be the one to deliver you to the wherever. That's your journey. You learn, you go out and you experience, you make sense of it, you know, and then you build your own throne. Okay. And now, since with the podcast, it's like we got 7 generations that we're responsible for right now. We have 7 generations that we're responsible for. I came to understand that back about time Ojise was published. It was like, okay, why are you doing this? You know, why? I mean, really, I'm doing it because nobody else is doing it from the quote unquote African in North America. Okay, no one else is doing it. So instead of me looking for somebody to do it, I just came back from Ile Ife. I'm expecting somebody who really had never gone to all of a sudden have this, ability. I'm like, sit your behind down and get to work. Isese, work. Okay, get it done. You understand? And so this is what we have. This is what moves this tribal nation. And what came to me based on your wise words was that you could go to any civilization at any point in time, but let's just take Nigeria, okay, and let's just take the Odo, okay, the river of Oya, okay, Oya, now called the Niger, okay, and say there are different settlements, different cities, okay, different cosmopolitan areas, because we seem to forget we had large cities. Oh, we can take the Great Wall of Benin, called Iya, okay? We can say, well, within this Great Wall, there are a number of cities. Okay? And in each of those cities, there are specialists. Over here, you have those who are very, very good at pottery. They make the most exquisite, okay, clay pots. When it's time for market, they got that covered. Over in this area, you have people who are hunters, okay? They specialize in hunting. Over in this area, in this settlement, in this small city within the larger cosmopolitan area, like we have East Orange, West Orange, and South Orange, the oranges, okay? They have the philosophers, the writers, the artists, and the spiritual people. So what I sense formulating is that Ashe, Karade Nation, always combine two sides of the coin, stating that we are basically focused on the imagination coming through via our initiations and then disseminating, okay, unto the people, not only within our Ile or Egbe, but that information now goes out to other people. And just like we buy the ceramics and just like we buy the meat from the hunters, okay, just for example, they then buy, however we want to define the word buy, the intellectual and the spiritual knowledge that comes through this part. I don't know. What do you think about that, Orisha baby? Orisha baby.
I agree, sir. I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The tribe does too.
So we're going to keep on doing it because just like every other crafts person, they keep working at their craft and they pass that craft on to those whom they initiate. It doesn't always have to be by blood, but it does have to be by transference of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's right.
Now that brings us to step one of Tawede.
All right. Let me pull it up.
All right. So Tawede is a time of spiritual reflection. Okay. And notice I'm desperately trying to stay away from words like holidays and religious days.
Mm-hmm.
I I have to be honest with you people. I don't even really like the word celebration. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
that's personal.
Right.
Anybody can use any of those terms. But if somebody would have come to me, I say it's a time of spiritual reflection.
Mm.
And it's based on a 16-day principle. Now, of course, each of those 16 days coming from a Babalao, okay, we have the 16 Odu. And as we started this practice, again, back in the 90s, every day was a focus on the Odu of that number, okay, for 16 days. Agbe Oyiku, Iwori Idi, Rosa Nawana Bar Kamran, Ugundo Sai Kator Pun, or Tori Rete Oshe, or Fun. All right, so we have those 16 days. Now, I've evolved this over time to say that for those who feel that that's what they would like to do, then all I can say is do it. Okay. Because you see, you are, you know, you are the one who is walking your spiritual path. Right. Now, as you can see behind me, I have the a white clay pottery. Okay. That is somewhat of a necessity because the term Tawede itself came out of my studies and visitation by Obatala, if you will. I'll call it a visitation. We might call it possession. All right.
I like that. Either way, I like that. Yes.
State that, okay, coming from where you're coming from, little Kikere Awo, little Obatala initiate, you know, I have something for you, you know. I'm going to set you to a task. And that task is to celebrate the Orisha within the context of your geopolitical boundaries. You can't do it like the people in Nigeria. You can't do it like the people in Cuba. You can't do it like the people in Brazil. But you can do it the way that you are conceiving it, okay, through that bridge called imagination, which now is taking the concept, crossing the bridge, and making it into something that's actual, something that's concrete, something that's tangible. So while I'm into this Odu and the story of a woman who was barren, she went for divination, and the Ifa priest shared with her that she had to make continual offerings to Obatala and that she needed a white clay vessel. And within that vessel, she would put her offerings. And like you see here, I have a white candle burning inside of the white clay pot. And this is, for me, is my meditative sense. For others, you may place whatever, white stones or water. Okay. You have to learn how to, embrace your own spiritual connection to your own spirit and to the spirit of the Orisha. Okay. I am in no way attempting to make this a religious statement, you know, because then here we go. In a real kind of strange way, I'm bleaching it, okay, because of the impact and influence of Judeo-Christian and Islamic. I want to be as free of that as I can be. Else, why am I here? Okay, but I digress. So she listens to the Babalao, and she continues to make offerings, even times when she didn't get pregnant, but she said, I'm not going to lose faith. I'm going to keep doing what the Babalao has stated, because he's speaking Ifa to me. And she conceived. And she was so happy and so thankful that she dedicated her life to the Orisha, but specifically to Obatala. And when I was reading this and feeling it as, okay, Obatala, is Orisha me, Obatala is Obatala and then Ifa. Okay? And I'm saying, okay. But then when Obatala came down from within me, it was like we conceive ideas, we conceive ways of perceiving, we conceive the continual growth of ourselves. We plant seeds of conceiving in others. And Obatala stated to me with a gentle firmness that when people embrace Orisha, they must do so from the light. That white cloth is just a symbol of the light that I, as Obatala, radiate. The light that comes through the darkness that brings mind to matter. And I was like, wow. And I understand it. I get it. I get it. It's taken since that long to get it even more, because just because you get something at one point, that doesn't mean that you get it, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. But to say now that Obatala is not beyond, purity of thought and behavior, because we all succumb, okay, but is an emanation of the brightness of light. And as we are conceived, so we conceive others, not just in terms of physical reproduction, but in terms of spirit, in terms of mindfulness, in terms of understandings. And then Obatala revealed to me Tawede, because that was the name of the young woman who dedicated her life to Obatala. Her name was Tawede. See?
Sure.
So I then went about, exploring, and I put it out and made it happen. And it continues to happen. And for any and everyone that would like to spiritually reflect for 16 days, okay? I mean, with an intensity now. I'm not saying that you don't do it. Don't get me wrong. But now with the intensity. So, Baba Risha Bami, at this point,
Sure.
question statements?
I don't see none yet, so we can probably keep rolling if you want to, Baba.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, we
Go.
good?
Yeah, I got a couple more pages if you want. I didn't know how much if you wanted me to share all. Like I got pretty much the pages that talk about Tawede.
Yeah, that's it. Go
Okay.
ahead and share the next page, brother.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. And here we have observance. Okay. And once you read the about it in the global perspective books, maybe we can pull up the cover page of that that we can show before I head now. You'll see that there's no strictness about it. There's no Ebo Jays. I'm more interested in, okay, what you're giving from your sincerity, what you're giving from your life essence, and now how upon that cycling you become more transcendental and help bring transcendence to others. Okay. And the mission, okay, identifying with the mother who seeks a child, as we are people seeking to gain understanding and substantiation of our identity and cultural reality. Okay. History, you know, learning so much more about not just who we were, but who we are, and really starting to understand that just because we were caged, literally, right, and dehumanized, subhumanized, okay, like that baby lion as a cub raised in a zoo, and begins to accept the captivity as the actual reality. They may have certain feelings, and nature kicks in, but the whole thing is that I was born here, this is how I was raised, and so this is it. I don't really know what it's like to be free. I just don't really know, and I may never know. I may die unknowing. See, so we're the same way, without our history and without our interpretation of our history, okay? Without our storytellers and our interpretation of our storytellers, and the retroactive recon that happens as each generation now elaborates upon the realism of our sacredness. See? So this becomes a matter of what we do. Everybody else around us may be jumping for joy and, doing whatever they do, and that's fine. I mean, really. Okay. I mean, it has to be. We can talk bad about it if we wanted to, but that's not going to change anything. You know, what we need to do, and I kind of always hate to say what we need to do, but what I suggest we do is let folks alone, like we want them to leave us alone, and we work on building our nation. We work on building our Benin wall, and establish our craftspeople and handle our business and be so enriched because we be free now. Okay? This is what Tawede is all about. This is why Obatala created it through me as his priest. And Ifa is standing there like, yeah, you right, bro. I'm going to get him. Going to get him.
Yes, yes, go ahead and get them, Baba.
Going to
Go
get
ahead
him.
and get them.
So we have rituals here, which is basically observance. Pouring your libation. Remember, ritual is different than routine. I talked about the Olojo Ni. We can give a brief demonstration. Um, I'll get to you in a minute, brother. If I should go, but I got you. Okay. Uh, Studying liturgy, prose, parables, studying the Orisha. And please keep in mind that no matter what Orisha you may have or think you have, Obatala is the one that they all kind of recognize as the eldest and the wisest, okay, and the Orisha of light. You know, it wasn't until much later on when Oduduwa came on the scene as a conquering hero, who basically, united and then built the kingdom from Ile-Ife, that Obatala was basically pushed to a, he's no longer starting. You know what I mean? He's on the bench. And then they tried to say, oh, he's drinking palm wine, and that's why, you know what I mean? But again, that's somebody's imagination. And there are people who will go with that. And there are people like me who will be like, that's a bunch of donkey nuts right there. Yeah. Yeah, but malarkey. You might get them to go with that because you got some juice. But me and Obatala, we tight.
Yes,
Sir.
Yeah,
it didn't go down like that. I'm like,
big Orisha. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the whole thing is, regardless of your Orisha, because I don't have Orisha days that coincide with Catholicism. I can't do it. I don't have anything to say against people who do, and I don't really think they have the right to say anything to me about what I do. So it's just best to say, well, that's what they do over there. Peace, But over here, there's a question of, why are we doing that? We ain't slaves no more,
Right.
So the whole Tawede thing is a powerful statement. It's an empowering statement. Again, we have materials coming out at that time. Okay. We're just going to show our growth. We're going to show our growth. And I'm not trying to compete with Christmas. I'm not trying to compete with anything, with Kwanzaa or anything. But why should I have to stay cuddled in the corner? Oh, I'm Ifa, and I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. So just let me play their game at the expense of my own spirit, at the expense of my own empowerment. So if I can roll up to my cousin's house and they're doing Christmas, for example, and I got little gifts for my nieces and nephews, so I'm cool with that, But why aren't you cool with rolling over to my place because I got African statues and I'm starting to fail to see the reciprocity here. But just because you're not going to do it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing.
Right. People fear the unknown, Baba. They fear the unknown and what's not comfortable, And I think that's something that we as a community and as a culture we have to work through and get over. Because what I found personally is, like, people don't want anything that people that are new or don't know anything about it, or who have shunned it. They don't want anything to do with Ifa Isese until, God forbid, it's a crisis, and then they like, oh, we need to see the priest.
Yeah. Whole lot of that going on, and I experienced it firsthand.
Oh yeah, I have to.
Yeah, Holy Rose, but see, they'll come in the night, and I would accept them because I see you as a person. I don't see you as a Christian. I don't see you as a Muslim. I see you as someone in need.
Right.
And and I'm not gonna, not help you.
Right.
But what hurts is that after you get the help,
right back to blasphemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all good. Arumula said, ain't none of this going to be easy. You got to take life bit by bit. The initiates ask, well, how should we take Ifa? How should we take our involvement? How should we take Arumila's teachings in our life? And the elders say, bit by bit, the same way you would eat the head of a rat.
Uh,
What?
oh God, I knew somehow, some way that was gonna come up. You beat me. I was gonna say something about the Igbo dude, but I was like, I'm just gonna sit here. But I guess it was permeating through both of us because I knew it.
Yeah. But see, that's
knew it.
one of the old sayings passed down.
Yeah.
But see, but my people, please try to understand that this is how we celebrate Tawede. You'll notice there's no boundaries. Everything we've done since this podcast has been about Tawede. Just like when we talk about activating African spirits, and we left with the understanding that we are African spirits. We activate one another. If you're looking for all that, magic and things like that, we
look in the mirror.
Yes,
That's
and that's not a cliche, and we have ways to make that possible. We have teachings to assist in that process. But if you're sitting around waiting for somebody to do it for you, then you are missing out on living. You are missing out on the inner growth that is your soul reaching, for understandings of life while you're living. And if you find Isese is not going to share with you the intensity of that, then for all that you see, you're blind. And I don't mean that as a put down. I just mean that as, something that has to be thought about. And like those Dogons, who trained themselves through the night to see into the night. We have to train ourselves in Ifa to see within Ifa.
Yeah.
And not walk around in a daze.
Yeah.
So that's the power of Tawede. We are all seeking to give birth. And what are we giving birth to? We're giving birth to the transcendental nature of ourselves. We're giving birth to understandings and realizations that become so strong that we actually live by them and just not regurgitate them. I can memorize the Odu, and I'm like, so what? There are people who can memorize the Quran, and they still enslaved our people. There are people who memorize all biblical script, and they still was standing right there at the lynching. So you're being able to memorize something doesn't what? So what? But are you walking your faith? Are you living your faith? Are you breathing and eating your faith? And are you an emanation of what you really and actually believe in? You see, this is Tawede. This is what we're going to spiritually reflect on. I'm the messenger who's bringing it. And then nobody would know it if I didn't say it. I'm not out there trying to sell them, the idea. I'm just saying that it exists. And those who want to be a part of it can be. And those who don't, no, that's cool. I mean, really, it's what am I supposed to do? Gather up an army and go out and just beat everybody to submission? That would be hypocritical, to say the least. I'm doing the same thing everybody else is doing, or have you? Well, if you're not on your knees 10 times a day, then you're not doing it right. That would be hypocritical. I would rather say find your own spiritual path. You're grown. And then reflect on it, write about it, breathe it, think about what you're doing. Just I got to run here, I got to run there. No, what you got to go in. You got to go in. So this is Tawede. It's a time of conceiving, a time of bearing fruit,
Ashe.
planting seeds.
Ashe.
There was a question about the Odu each day.
Yeah, let me bring up my
The consul.
yeah, let me bring up I'm gonna start calling him security, man. My boy, he be getting close together, man. Hey, that's the Ashe security right there, boy. My boy ain't having it. He said he ain't taking that off nobody coming out here with that foolishness, man. Get out of here. I love it. Appreciate you, Ifa. Say goon, boy. I
Did you
appreciate it.
just give him a position of
Yeah,
command?
yeah. I'm already
Command
he on the front line, man. He
All right.
laying things down. He ain't taking that off nobody, man. You come around here and these Ashe stew, that fools you want to, my boy. Say he here to get you. He
We have
ain't
to
have
call him Kakamfo. All right,
yes,
he's the warlord. He's the war chief.
yes,
That's
sir.
what we're ruling up here.
Yeah, he ain't having that, man. Get out
You
there with
be
that foolishness,
leaving here without your head.
man. Listen, I love it.
Ah,
I love it. I love it. It's funny
all right,
because I ain't see it, and then when I went and saw it,
yeah,
I
their
said he
order.
had already done clapped on him. I said, "Hey, boy, done beat me to it, boy. I like that." Yes, sir. I like
All right,
it.
in answer to your question, now, if I should go, all right, if I should go, there's going to be some people who might like to do it by order, on the 16th. Okay, and there's going to be others who can choose their own order. There may be those who have their Merindi Lagoon or even their Obi, because if the Obi falls from top to bottom, light, open, 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 then you can say, oh, okay, well that's Agbe. Let me study Agbe today. Then you throw it again, and it might be light, open, 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 dark. Oh, that's Ogunda. So you now you're trying to commune with the Ologioni, with the spirit of the day. All right. Then there are those who may have their Merendi Lagoon, and they may cast every day and say, all right, for these 16 days, I'm casting, as a form of studying, but I'm going to also connect with what speaks to me. Okay. Because it's just not coming down for no reason. Right? And then there are Babalaos who may use the Opwele or the E King, and may do it once every 4 days. So you see, so there's no wrong way to do it. Okay, but there is a right way to do it, if you follow me. And that right way is to be sincere and to actually learn in order to elevate. So even if you miss a day, it ain't like, oh well, you're gonna be in trouble. You know what I mean? Uh, the Orisha don't like that, or if I gonna get you, or whatever it is. You're talking about spooky stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the whole thing is take your time and develop. Take your time and develop. And personally, I'd rather see you do whatever you want to do, but make sure you take note. Learn to articulate it. See writing as a part of the creative process. I don't care if it's just a paragraph or two, and what that'll do speaks and what it means to you. And then research it. If you got a number of books, research it.
Sure.
Okay. So hopefully that answers your question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's powerful. And yeah, so and he responded back to the security comment request. It's not a game. We ain't playing out here. I say
Right.
Karade Nation. We get
Yeah.
we get busy, man. We get busy. Yes, I say appreciate you, family.
All right.
Yeah, man. So bye. You got anything you want to share with the tribe, man? I'm gonna have to go put this voice on rest. Get this thing some good tea and get it right for tomorrow night, because I got to come right back and get back at it again, man. So we're gonna make it do it.
Well, in closing, Obatala give blessings. Okay. Okay. Obatala bamio eni anini bani emi komokan. Obatala, assist in the elevation of me. I can't do it by myself. I need the Orisha with me. Okay. And as we get into Tawede, starting December 16th, okay, uh, we'll gather because we're going to do the lives anyway. But I can see dedicating a portion of it to Tawede. But at this time, if you don't have a white clay vessel, uh, which is, again, if there are any requirements, that's it. Okay. Go ahead and get it. And I don't know if you can see or not, but I have like white ilekes around it. Right. So that would be stage one. Okay. If you don't have the Global Perspective book, uh, please hit Gumroad. Okay. Please hit Gumroad, and then you can read up on it, and then read what supports it. Articulation is important in learning anything and helping with anything, because the process of bringing thought into word and then having a exchange lends to a greater understanding, a greater development. Okay. Now, for example, I can have students and we read a chapter, and I ask the question about the chapter, and the student says, "Well, I know, but I just can't put it into words." And I say, "Well, let's take a little time, okay? I'll give you a little time. I just don't move on." I said, "Take a little time and try to come up with the words to explain, okay, how you're feeling about this, you know, or what are your thoughts about this?" Because words are important, and to be able to articulate our faith, and to be able to articulate our beliefs, and to be able to articulate what we've learned through life. Say I'm an elder and my grandchild comes to me with a question about life, and I don't have, well, I really don't have the words for it. Come on, how helpful is that not? Okay, so we learn to speak, okay, so that we communicate and we transfer information on to generations. And that's why it's very important, Brother Nkosi. And that's why people like myself spend the majority of our adult lives better learning how to best articulate. Okay. Well, if you don't have any of the items, humble, you can get the clay pot. You can go to any flower place, okay, florist. You order one from Amazon. Okay, there are numerous places, these construction places, where you can get, you know, an urn, so to speak, and just have it. Okay, yeah, yeah. You can be an olive berry and still be like, do you have to be a staunch Christian to practice Christianity, or if you're Muslim, are you praying 5 times a day, and do you even have a Quran, or do you even have a Bible? You know what I mean? But you'll say, "Oh, well, I'm part of Christian because I identify, and I got a little something over here. I got a cross from my grandmother, whatever." So it's okay, Sister Humble, to have an implement or two, and of course, white candles. Boom, not a problem. All right. And then you have the book. You start accumulating knowledge. That in itself is necessary for, um, a faith factor. Accumulate knowledge.
I say.
Okay. Hopefully that answers the questions. And in closing, Again, Obatala give blessings, you
That's
know,
it.
to one and all. You don't have to be initiated to be blessed by the Orisha. You
That's
don't
it.
have to be initiated to embrace spiritual reflection. Okay, you just don't. Okay, some uninitiated people seemingly are more, spiritual and loving and compassion than those who have 20 initiations. I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
That part.
So just exercise sincerity and the willingness to learn and grow. That's Tawede.
That's facts.
I check.
Yes, sir. Man, I wanted to get into. I'm gonna wait though. I'm gonna wait for another call. Wait for another call. It's an old dude that I want to get into. Because it just things that I see in regards to like ego, pride,
Mhm.
jealousy, envy, all kind of like human weaknesses. And I remember a conversation me and Baba Tolu had a while back where he broke it down heavy on human weaknesses. But
Mhm.
next time we do one, I want to bring up that do and touch on that to get your perspective, because I know there's a reason for everything. But kind of like how a while back you challenged, those who are in the sacred order or priestly order to kind of rise to the occasion to operate at a certain level. So I just want to get your perspective on how do we set the tone and the precedence to overcome that type of energy? Because we can't never manifest the true power in the essence of united we stand, divided we fall, if we haven't worked on eliminating those human weaknesses within
Mhm.
ourselves. And it's something that I really would love to figure out and spearhead some sort of campaign to pour into us to be able to work on eliminating that type of energy, because I feel like we could be so much further and so much higher if we
Mhm.
stop worrying about the next person and what they doing or what they got, and
Mhm.
focus on working on us to develop who we are and where we need to go and how to elevate to where we should be.
Well, see, I don't want to leave on that. Okay, I'm gonna address it right now. There ain't no need. Well, you should have known that before you decided to articulate your feelings.
Oh man, listen,
You just
listen,
acted,
listen,
you was ready
listen,
to go. You was like, "Oh,
listen.
I don't go," but now you want to,
Look,
throw more
look,
wood on the
look.
fire.
I'm just gonna get another cup of tea real quick. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Yeah, all right now. Right now.
Yeah, go
Now,
ahead, Baba. I want to hear. I want to hear what you got for that,
all
though.
right. Well, I was ready to go, bro. But see, all right, okay.
Again,
Well,
we'll leave it there. I won't ask nothing else.
no. We gonna do this now. The first thing that comes to mind is something that I've come to understand a long time ago, and just gained a little bit more understanding of it yesterday. No,
Mm,
today. All right.
mm,
Now, first of all, we cannot eliminate those feelings.
mm,
We cannot eliminate envy. We cannot eliminate jealousy. We cannot eliminate hatred. Whatever's we know and we interpret as negative. Okay, they cannot be eliminated. Okay, they can be transcended. You see, they can be wrestled with. Right, but this whole thing of trying to eliminate them is what has us in a very circular motion. Okay, got kind of got spinning around. Okay, what I've come to witness from within myself and others whom I've uh, been able to assist to whatever degree is that when you start to involve yourself in spiritual reflections, when you start to involve yourself in the coming forth by day, by light, okay, by Ifa, those type of emotions and negative feelings that arise become powerless. You see, you don't eliminate them, you transcend them, because they're going to be there. They're ingrained. All right, they're not sinful. They are just what they are. They are what we make them. And like the old Native American quote unquote saying, when the young warrior asked the elder chief, you know, it said, it seems like I have two wolves inside of me. Two wolves. One is very protective and will risk life, you know, to go out to bring back food for the herd, and the other one is very aggressive in the most negative of ways and wants to take everything from everybody. Okay, and the young warrior was so confused because these two wolves were actually existing within him. And the elder chief looked at him and said, I only have one answer for you. And of course, you know, the young warrior was like, well, what is it? Because I don't know if I can continue to go on like this. And he said, of those two wolves, the protector wolf, the one that's caring, the one that will go through it all to make sure that others are taken care of. That's one. Two, the aggressive one, you know, the violent one, the one that is always about chaos and turmoil. That's two. Now you want to know which one is going to really take control of you, which one you're going to go with. And then the young woman was like, yeah, which one? Is like, come on, when you going to tell me? And the elder was like, the one you feed the most. The one you feed is the one that will overtake you. You won't be able to eliminate either one. They are part of the nature of all existence. Even stars steal light from other stars.
Mm.
Okay, that is part of the way of things. Then by your own self-discipline, by your own spiritual transcendence, and by your own capacity to perceive and to gain, you know which one to feed. And perhaps over time, the other one will starve. Okay.
Mm.
So don't try to get rid of it. Try to out everything it, out be it. And then we can sit down and have powerful conversations like this. And we can sit down and have powerful people and never once have a fallout. Because even if a feeling comes across, then I'm higher than that feeling. I'm not going to feed into it, as we would say. And I'm serious about not feeding into it. I'm going to exercise everything that I've got. And that's what confuses me about some of these Orisha people and all of that. I'm not throwing stones, but I'm trying to understand if we're going to walk in the light of our ancestral bearing and make all of these offerings and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and then still turn around and talk bad about each other and cause, you know, terrible things to happen, then I'm like, what's the point? It's like people literally fighting in the church. I'm like, well, why they go, you know, the sister get mad and they up there fighting in the church. I'm like, oh
No,
man, you can't make this ish up, man.
No.
But
Look.
the point is, no matter how, you know, how we try to, you know, not have these feelings, they're going to be there. Okay. What the emphasis is on, connected with Tawede, is to start exercising spirit to the point where it detaches from those emotions, negative emotions, so that those emotions don't rule our day.
Mm.
We don't feed it. We instead feed the caring one. the protective one, the one who guards the community, not snatches everything from it.
I said,
Yeah.
listen, what they say, where energy goes, energy flows. Where energy goes, energy flows. That's why I don't like talking like about a lot of drama and the chaos and the gossip and you know what I'm saying, all the mud slinging and all the bullish. Like
Yeah.
I don't really deal with it because I'm not going to give it none of my energy. Because if you give it energy, you're giving it momentum.
Well, and then you can give it energy. You can give it positive energy. You can ask a simple question to some people. Sometimes I deal with some pretty rough individuals. Like, yo, why are you rolling like that? Or don't be trying to pull me into that foolishness because see, I ain't going. And what if you want to take time, then we can go in that direction. But what we're not going to do is go into this chaos and self-destructive thing that you got going on here right now. Now, what you want to do, okay? But as the priestly, I'm giving you the option. I realize that you're struggling with a very demonic force right now. And if I'm going to be here to help you, then I'm going to try to help you. But if you refuse my help, I ain't going to be running after you. Because now you're starting to trigger things inside of me. And it's like, nah, let's collaboration over competition. Yes. And there's going to be bad days. I mean, sometimes the best of friends have, disagreements that kind of get them. But then they have to decide what's more important, our friendship or this petty little difference that we're going through. Which one are we going to feed?
That's it.
Yeah. So that's that on that. And again, Obatala. Again, Tawede. This is how we talk. This is how we reflect. This is how we handle that other thing inside of us. That self-destructive tendency.
Yes, sir. Human weakness.
Yeah. And it's okay. I mean, we're just human. Okay. But then again, we're more than the human that we've been, dare I say, programmed to be or led to believe that we are.
More than meets the eye.
Yes. More than meets the eye. All right, bro. Let's get you out of here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing, right. But hey, as always, man, definitely honor and pleasure, family. Appreciate y'all coming, showing love, and the support has been tremendous, and we definitely appreciate it. Me and Baba talk almost pretty much every day about how we can get better, do better, and rise higher and make a stronger impact, man. We're gonna continue to do that. So with that, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love, the support, the likes, shares, the subscribes, everything. We appreciate it. And you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. So we appreciate y'all joining us in these Isese streets. And we gonna make it do what it do, baby. We gonna make it do what it do. Queen beat me to it.
She got you.
That's what I'm talking about. Tribe right there, boy. Hey, I like it. I like it. That's what's up. But yeah, man. So, and we got a lot more in store, family. I'm looking at adding, a lot more into the community, and the private community, the public community, and the VIP community. I got a lot I've been working on to bring even more heat, man, to the family. So we got a lot brewing, and don't forget, we'll be right back tomorrow night with Professor Kaba at 10:30. Another announcement. I didn't want to share it because when I do share it, I want to share the link. But we got, for those who are in the Southeast region, we're bringing Professor James Smalls down here to Jacksonville on February, I want to say the 16th. And I have more details for that as well. Probably by tomorrow night, I should have more details for that. And yeah, we're gonna make this thing do what it do, family. So we appreciate y'all joining us. And yeah, we're gonna make it do what it do, baby. We're gonna make it do what it do. So as always, family, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night. We out. Odabo.
Odabo, good people. Odabo.
Ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàgbọ́, tẹ́ntẹ́ ní takísà ní tàtàn. Ó bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ. Ẹja lọ pé eégún mo ṣe nígbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́. Forsake not your ancestors and praise your